We are having a look at two people. By the way, of course, this is the Celeste Strawberry Jam collab track. Bean Jammin'. It's Bean Jammin'. It's good. So this track's also fantastic. Will it go back? Will it go? No? Alright. Forget that. Everything's a mess today. It's alright. Okay. Let's go right in, shall we? Pause and you Bean Jammin'. Thanks a lot. We got John Greska. Zooming in. Zooming in. Tiniest picture of John. There you are. Yeah. John Greska. And we got Aryo Nazaradeh. And I've met both these people, actually. Both of them. It's pretty exciting. Oh, you played through Celeste 64. Yeah, well, first off, thank you for playing that silly thing. I probably should talk about that a bit, eh? There's no, like, trailer. I can't play a trailer for this game. I think there's some GIFs. Are there GIFs? I think so. Here it is. Yeah, thank you for the reminder. I was like, what's happened last week? Of course, this is all I did last week. Yeah, this game, Celeste 64, more info. It's nothing more. Yeah, this thing is a little fun dealio that was made by XOK. Of course, currently working on Earthblade and previously Celeste, obviously. And yeah, Celeste 64 is a very silly project that we made in roughly 9 or 10 days. Some time off in between there, here and there. But it was fast. It was real fast. It makes no sense why this exists. It's basically a Mario 64 or Mario Sunshine kind of era inspired take on Celeste. So, funny thing happened also. Here you go. This is a good time. I'll pause this. Basically, yeah. So this happened. If you're familiar with the Fmod profiler, that is not a healthy looking moment in the Fmod profiler. This is brutal. Because every one of these lines is a lifespan of an instance. So it's like 100 plus lifespans. Easily 100 plus, like 200 lifespans. Yeah, it went up fast. So it sounds like this. Let's play it. Let's just play it full volume. Why not? Not full volume. Here we go. And then the level music is like, oh, I can't start. Voice starvation. You can hear it. The tune should start like right here when the spotlight comes in, but it's like, nope, can't. We're dying right now. Fmod is like limping along, trying to play the track again. Yeah. Notably, this like speed tech I was doing, I was like, is this possible? Cool little route of this level, no camera change. So that, not this capture, because I wasn't actually capturing the video at the time, but the first time I got that speed strat, this was the reward. Like I didn't know that bug was there until after I got that speed strat in that level. And I was like, ah! Blew my ears out. Yeah, it was very silly. But yeah, we got this thing done in like a week-ish, a little over a week. And yes, I voiced the credits. Spoilers. It's very silly. It's a very personal kind of project, so I pitched to the team like, is this a crazy idea? I don't know. But yeah, it's a few people have been like, whoa, you're in the game. Indeed I am. Please check it out. I'll link it in the chat if you want to see the if you want to see this silly game. You can play for free. It's had like many downloads, a whole lot, which is quite funny and humbling for what a silly little game it is. But so be it. But we're doing real talk today. We're looking at some sound design portfolio content, it would seem, in this case of the technical variety. Should be a good time. And as well, Aryo, sound design and composition. Okay. We are looking at these things in the interest of trying to offer some feedback, some constructive critique to hopefully lead to these people finding some traction, getting some gigs, getting a gig, foot in the door, whatever it is, you know. And yeah, Canadian. Aryo is here in Vancouver, actually. So we've made eye contact on many occasions and talked on a few of those as well. Yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing this, actually. I haven't really seen Aryo's stuff. So let's go. We are going to be looking at these things from a few different angles. That's down here. Classic, presentation, material selection, content quality, and distinction. We're going to keep things on the rails best we can. I always run long. And actually, on that note, real quick, I'll mention this at the end too, probably, but I'll mention it now. I think for a while, we're going to try doing it doing the streams such that there's only one person per stream. And because I often feel like I want to dig in to stuff that is like deeper in the portfolio, the implementation walkthroughs, the game jam projects, like whatever, right? And we rarely have time for that. And I feel like I've always been thinking that it's better to have more because then we get like more people through the door. But then a lot of people have also told me in the past that they never submitted to Real Talk, but got a lot out of it. So I'm like, maybe it's fine that we're not looking at people's stuff specifically, because if they're still watching the stream, they're still learning things. I don't know. Guest reviewers too. Yeah, guest hosts are great to have back. Bjorn, man, it's so, the logistics is so time consuming. It's hard. It's just hard, you know. That's the one reason. It's just hard to, like, if we had an assistant admin person to do all the scheduling, then hell yeah, absolutely. But like, it's all just me, right? And like, I'm busy. I'm so tired right now. Like, I'm actually very tired right now from the past week and a half ish. But anyways, yeah. So I don't know. In the chat, please let me know if you have any hard opinions or hot takes on the idea of only doing one per stream. Do you think that would be more useful or more interesting? Or one thing, it's like, it's a bit less, quote unquote, less, big air quotes, less work for me, because it's less to schedule, and less to like blast through and be more mindful of. But yeah, I'm just curious. And if you don't care, that's fine too. Maybe no one cares. Could be just me overthinking this. It's not entirely possible. Anyways, presentation. First up, we're gonna be looking at the website, all the things, all the layout of things. By the way, is John here? John just followed us on Twitch. 52 short minutes ago, I can see this. I'm sure John's here, right? John Greska in the chat? Joe Vertones is here. Guitargasms is here. John Greska says, yeah, I'm here. What an iconic first time chat message. First time chatter. Yeah, I'm here. Hey, John. Good to see you again. Been a while, all right? Hopefully I'll see you again soon. Yeah, we're looking at the layout of stuff. If things are easy to find, if there's too much info or not enough info, or if you have branding considerations to bring into the fold or whatever, right? all the non-audio things. And then material selection is, what are these pieces in your reel? What are the pieces in your portfolio? What do those things suggest to us without even listening to them? Like, what do they tell us about you, your past work history and skill sets and ambitions, all that stuff. I mentioned website presentation. The reel presentation is important as well. The flow is a minute long. It's a minute 28, John? So long, John. It's technical, so we'll see. Maybe it's worthwhile. Maybe it's going to blow our minds, and we'll realize how much we needed that back 20 seconds. It's possible. This feels long right away. We'll see. Yeah, so length and flow and pacing and stuff. Titling. Transitions. All those things. It's all important. On the content quality front, we'll look at this. Is this stuff good? Is it working? Is it hitting that industry standard of awesome? If not, I'll be happy to give you my opinion. I'm sure some folks in the chat who are very talented and experienced will be happy to share some thoughts as well. And last thing, distinction. Just, are you standing out in some kind of positive way? Because damn it, if there are not a lot of people looking for work right now, holy, more than usual. I think it's safe to say, very safe to say. So, if you're just blending into the background, well, I'm sorry to inform you, you are not going to get hired. Like, you need to stand out in some way, whatever way that is. It's got to be something. Got to be something. So we got one big old blue page, and we got one big old green page. Yellow? What's this color? It's like a gray, yellow, green. Aryo, you here, by the way? I'm curious. We're going to find out, perhaps. John, we'll look at your stuff first while Aryo decides to roll in. Oh, post-minimalist. Okay. I wasn't sure. There are some handles for which I don't know the person's actual name, and I thought that might be you, but I wasn't positive. Yeah. Yeah, okay, good. I'm glad you're both here. I'll still do John's first, though, just because I've said so. I feel bad going back my word now. So, John, thank you for rolling in. Thank you both for submitting your stuff. So courageous to get up on stage and have your stuff reviewed. No, I'm joking. It's not a big deal. We're all friends here. We're definitely here to help our brethren improve. There is a lot of work out there. Despite layoffs, there's definitely a lot of work out there and a lot of potential opportunity to be had, So it's not like if you help somebody else, your life is worse. No, there's enough work for everyone to go around. It's fine. Let's have a look. John Greska, technical sound designer. I like this G. Nice looking G. Is this cut off, or is it what the G looks like? And musician. Also musician. Same as Aryo. Sound design and composition. Cool. So, excuse me. We got a game sound design portfolio, free audio library, music, about me, resume, contact. Resume having its own tab is maybe not necessary. Also, we got, these pages are brutally named, man. We got, this is your main page, that's fine. Free audio library. So I can see in the status bar, it says audio library. That's pretty close. All right. And we got music. That URL goes to blank page. /blank hyphen page. Next up, about me goes to / copy of home. Resume goes to copy of resume. Contact goes to contact 8. What happened to contact 1 through 7? Come on, John. Yeah, these are some rough looking address bar characters here. This needs some attention for sure. It's a little silly. So, not the end of the world. It's not gonna get you unhired. It's not a black mark, but it's just one of those details, I look at that and I'm like, that's kind of funny. Resume with the accent aigu, is that right? I believe so. Resume. Oh wow. Okay, this is a It's like a website-based thing. I expected like a PDF link, but I guess if it's here, then I mean, it's up to you really. If you think it should be here, like this download PDF. Like the thing is, no one's gonna be linking your website for your resume. Like your your resume will be included in like your submission for a role, right? It won't be like, where's your resume? Oh, here's like the link to johngreska.com/copy of resume. So having it here on the site isn't as important, although it looks like kind of slick, I guess. But it's really more important just to have this PDF, like in your about, hey, here's me, and like what is happening here? What is this? What the heck? John, you're throwing a lot of curveballs at us here. We'll see here. The download resume is often worth having like right here or something on the about. Typically it's there. If you want to be extra careful, contact also, like download resume, why not right there? But having its own page, again, not the end of the world. It's just not the most common thing to see. It's up to you. If you think it's worthwhile having it here and you like all the how it complements everything else, how it complements everything else on your page, then so be it. Leave it here. Up to you. So, also, you appear to have a new gig. Not new, my bad. This is not the current year. The current year is 2024, Kevin. Present, remote, Trashfire Games, co-founder, audio lead. Okay, cool. This is your thing, I guess. Co-founder at Trashfire Games. Nice. I'm looking forward to learning more about that. Let's go to your about me first, though. I'm going to ignore this stuff because I don't get it. And we'll read as if this doesn't exist. How about that? Technical sound designer, musician. This looks a bit like a single title as opposed to two titles. It's like your name and your role. And this is like two things. Maybe an and in there or something. Up here, it makes it a bit, well, it's not that much different actually. Like here, it's a bit more obvious, like and composer. You know, I understand they're buttons, but why are they here? This goes to contact? Like, I just clicked about me, dude. And then you're like, no. You don't want to be here. Go click contact instead. Like, that's what these buttons say. They say, you made a mistake. And the first thing you're showing me is buttons to go somewhere else. If I zoom back to 100%, this is so weird, man. Like, I have these buttons. I'm being mean right now. This is a weird place for buttons, man. Like, these buttons are here. Like, this is like, you know, website conventions have been established for decades. Like, these buttons are here. I know they're here. It's fine. It's pretty small for 100%, by the way. This is tiny text, tiny links for the normal page size. But this here, it's like I clicked, because think about what I'm doing as a user. This is UX stuff, user experience, right, John? Like, we're not even talking about your reel yet. This is just basic UX stuff. If your user clicks about me, what do you think they want to do? Maybe this sounds like a silly question, but they probably want to learn about you. Otherwise, why would they click that, you know? And then so they click that. If you want to have a smooth user experience, you should then provide them the means by which to learn about you. That's what they want, right? So instead, though, we're met with your name and your title, which or your role, which we already know from here a bit, so we haven't learned anything yet. And then we have things that are not really about you. I guess they are kind of, like your resume is your stuff, but all these things just serve to say, hey, user, you've made a mistake. You didn't mean to press about me. You meant to click one of these other things instead, you know? It's just it's a strange choice. I would 100% get rid of these. I have literally never seen this before ever in like 7 years of doing Real Talk. I've never seen someone put the links to like go away from the page they're on as soon as you get to that page. I'll stop talking about it now, but like you gotta deal with that. Okay, a bit about me. Nice to meet you. My name is John Greska, a technical sound designer and musician. I'm a graduate of the University of Illinois at Urbana-Champaign, okay, with a degree in music technology. Throughout my study years, I focused on all the major aspects of technology and sound, which include using DAWs, Creating with Foley. Creating with Foley? Okay. Working with microphones. The generals of algorithmic music composition. All right. And much more. Number 5. My senior project was a study on middleware, their faculties, their integration methods, and examples of how to use them, along with interviews from the sound designers. Interviews from the sound designers of several well-known games. Okay, cool. Upon graduation, I worked at several media-based companies learning how audio is used in the modern world and applying those skills to projects. All right. They included Trailer House Cutters Studios, non-profit media organization Chicago Filmmakers, and film production studio Dreamscape Cinema. With you. I am currently co-founder of Trashfire Games, indie game company working on their debut game, An Eternity Gone By. I throw some quotes on some titles if you know, it can't hurt. Some quotes here and there. It is a hack and slash made in Unity with Fmod middleware set to be released in August 24. Good luck. I create music, both vocal and instrumental, which I release to the public. My songs have reached... okay. I'll keep reading. My songs have reached over 20,000 cumulative streams on Spotify. All right. Okay. Hey, Vitor. In my free time, I work on several independent projects to bolster my knowledge of audio creation and application. I enjoy creating interactive audio, typically seen in video games or AR/VR environments. Yes. Building upon my middleware senior project, I frequently create my own game audio projects for display as an example of how to create immersive sound in interactive media. Okay. My end goal is to have projects in Unity, Unreal, CryEngine, and VR using all sorts of audio middleware to display in my portfolio. That feels like an edit that went wrong there. It must be using industry tools or using all sorts of middleware. You couldn't decide what to say and chose half of each. Thank you for your time, and I hope you enjoy looking through my website. Okay, we're having a good time so far. So this could definitely use some editing, John, for sure. Like this entire paragraph here. So this, I mean, like I'm not a pro writer or anything, and I often say on Real Talk I hate writing bios more than anyone out there. I get it. It's tough. It's not a fun process, but it's so important to get it nailed down. So this is the first sentence of this paragraph. It's the umbrella statement. It's like an establishing sentence of what this paragraph will be about. So it says, I'm currently co-founder of Trashfire Games. Got it. And we learn what that team is and what they're working on. And then later it says, I create music, both vocal and instrumental. But is that like a subheading of Trashfire Games? You may have seen me kind of go like, because my brain was trying to connect this thought to this thought, and it wasn't failing. So I don't know if that's due to just how you're phrasing it, or if it's a different thought entirely. Like you're talking about your songs now, my songs, but you're talking about your co-founding Trashfire Games. So this is just, it can use some editing as far as like flow stuff and organization of things. What else? Yeah, it just feels like also creating with Foley. Creating with Foley. Is that how I'd say it? Like doing Foley? Creating with is kind of weird. Using DAWs, creating with Foley, working with microphones. Like microphone technique might be an easier way to say that. The generals of algorithmic music composition. I hope you talk more about that somewhere, because I have a degree in music composition. I don't know what that's talking about. The generals of algorithmic music composition. Okay. Okay. Like this, I kind of want, I want to know more about like this first, again, it's like organization of thoughts and stuff. Like this first sentence, not nice to meet you, but being like, hey, my name's this and I'm one of these. and then you go into your schooling, and then like I guess this is kind of its own thing, like its own thought, school, and then after graduation you did a thing. That's cool. It's also, this is like relevant to audio. It's great upon graduation. Yeah, it just needs some editing and rewording and reorganization is all. Like this is worth having in there. All these things are worth having in here for the most part. This got a little bit wordy. Like this is a bit of a long-ish bio, not like brutal long, but in my free time, I work on several indie projects to bolster my knowledge. Like, sure. I enjoy creating interactive audio. Like this part here, I wasn't sure. Like, are you describing what interactive audio is? Because again, you can probably assume that people who are on your website understand the concept of interactive audio. Like this isn't being read by line cooks who don't play video games. And if they don't, they wouldn't know what AR and VR are anyways, you know? In which case, you enjoy, so what we're left with is you enjoy creating interactive audio. I mean, I sure hope so after everything else we've read so far, you know? So this is kind of a strange sentence to include near the end of the bio or at all. And then building upon my middleware senior project. So we're back in school now. So we have, in my free time, I like doing these things. And then, so building upon my middleware senior project, I frequently, okay, so you're making more personal project stuff as a display. For display? Like for your reel, you mean? Is that what you're making it for? My end goal, okay, to have, like this is kind of a weird thing to include in your bio. Like I'm currently working on my portfolio. Like, sure, you know, it's not really interesting. It's like assumable that you're working on your stuff and I think that in the end here, it comes down to like, show me, don't tell me, you know? Because if your stuff is in the front here in like your portfolio and it kicks ass, then you don't need to tell me you're working on stuff to add to your portfolio. And this also suggests, so your end goal is to have projects and all these things and using all sorts of middleware to display in your portfolio. That's your end goal. So this suggests to me, without seeing anything else so far, that you have not yet met this goal, because this suggests that this is still currently your goal, meaning it is unrealized. In which case, why? Saying this, like, I want to do this one day, is like, that doesn't tell anyone anything, you know, from a professional standpoint. It's fine enough. Like if I see you at GDC and I'm like, what are you working on? You're like, oh, I'm working on some CryEngine stuff. I want to have in my portfolio one day. I'm like, sweet. You know, it's a great thing to share like over a beer, but putting in your bio, it just doesn't really tell me about you much. You can say like, I'm currently learning CryEngine. I'm currently like having a great time learning whatever, this and this tool, like that kind of thing. But just describing this is so passive. Like my end goal is to have, like this says nothing of what you are currently doing or your progress thus far or anything. And I just don't think it's worthwhile having here. Just cut it out, you know? Yeah. Anyways, and get rid of these fucking buttons. Get the buttons out of there. They gotta go, you know? Yeah, so Yanni, it's a good point. Yanni says, I'm not sure what others think, but listing engines you want to work in as an end goal is a bit interesting. If, say, you had to work in Frostbite, like, yeah, like some proprietary engine at some company, like, is that still part of your goal? Do you explicitly not want to work in Frostbite? I mean, it's probably assumable that this indicates that you have a wide interest for interactive audio and all the potential applications, both like processes and so forth. So I assume you would like that, but I don't know. It's just kind of funny. Okay, so Contact has some links, and they seem to. So Trashfire Games, nice, and a new window opens up. Good stuff. A Trash Fire Games debut. Meet the team. Oh, you aren't here though. These aren't you. I know what you look like. Those are not you at all. What's happening on Instagram? Trash Fire Games. Indie Spotlight. What we learned at PAX. That's you right there. Oh, I can't look at it. It's like log in. But that's you right there. Okay, you're building a new website. Cool. Of course, be aware that you won't be over the shoulder of the person that you've sent to your website. So if you're linking stuff, be aware it will be looked at, you know. Instagram, what's in your Instagram? John Greska _ Cool. Trash Fire Games. Various things. All right, so not a lot of audio things though, I don't think. Let's try again. So I'm not logged in right now, apparently. There's like, okay, this is your game. That's good. And then like a Luigi costume. Yeah, there's like a few, like music, like loud and clear. Like there's a few things that are like at least audio adjacent, at least. But it's not like super audio-y. So be aware when you link stuff like this or your YouTube or Twitter or whatever, like if it's not focused professionally, it might just not be worth having here. You know, up to you. Again, up to you. Fully up to you. Music. We're working our way back to the left here. Music. The first thing is a dog. 4 legs. Oh, what's this? 4 legs. Music, lyrics, and pets. Oh no, sad. Scruffy. So cute, my god.
I used to think, even with some more time,
John, I can't leave the video now.
push past it all, struggling to blink it away, but now I give thanks that at least he had time.
John, we can't do it. I feel bad pausing. We can't watch the whole thing. Oh, it's so sad though. Beautiful little tribute though. That's so nice. I would probably do something similar. But thankfully my dog's never gonna die. So that's I got lucky with that one. It's I've been told. I've convinced myself at least that she's never gonna die. Okay. That's so sad, dude. But good on you. What a nice little honoring. Okay, various tunes. We got it. We got free. There's nothing like. The thing with this page is there's no info. Like even clicking this, I just have this. There was no information about it. It just says 4 legs, which you saw already, and a link. So this could just link to the thing, couldn't it? There's no information. And further, same thing here. There's no additional info here, John. You're making this work so hard. If I click this, can I then? Is there info here? Like you have it written. It's right here. Just put it there, you know? Just don't make your visitors search for this information, you know? Just have it there for them. Okay, so moving on. Free audio library. The at-home collection. Oh, classic. Slam in the stove? Slam in the oven, rather? Toilet flushing. Pulling tissues. Mouse clicking. Door locking. Faucet on. Is this all the files? I'm not gonna lie, John, this layout is pretty hurting. Like we have the font up top, sure, but then we have like this heading, and then like over here, just a link, and then here, a big old list. It's just not great to look at. If I zoom out, this is a pretty unattractive page. I don't mean to be mean, but like it's just not, this seems very low effort, you know? Whereas even this page is a little more, oh, what happened here? There's like, okay, here has information. So what the hell? What's going on? Okay, so you saw that. I could have just never seen these pages. I went music, clicked this, went here, some random stuff. And I was like, well, moving on. Like, I didn't even click these. So why doesn't the day-to-day thoughts picture just lead to this page? Like click thoughts and it goes right where I just was. Yeah, the flow and like organization and layout and stuff, all these pages, it needs some serious work here, John. But view files, it's on Google Drive. Is this all the files? Is all of them? So I might just include something like some library folks have like a link to the PDF that has all the information, you know? That might be cleaner. Free audio library. Yeah. Anyways. Okay. So game sound design portfolio, front page. Technical sound design portfolio. Sure. General reel. Okay. General reel? John Greska reel. Wise Playground Self-Made. Okay. Projects and breakdowns. Are these links? These are... Oh, it's like a go down the page link. Okay. I don't think you need this. Yeah, just this is looking better as far as like the thumbnails with some information and stuff. BB8 Fmod Unity Playground overview. Okay. Good. A walkthrough of how animation-based audio can be achieved using Fmod and Unity to create. Okay, so one thing here. This is like a language thing. Let's zoom back in again. So a walkthrough of how animation-based audio can be achieved. We were talking to Alessandra Mastroianni last week, and it's a similar kind of thing. We'll see how the video goes, but this kind of phrasing suggests that you're like instructing us how to do it. You know, like here's like a tutorial on how to use this animation-based audio, as opposed to here's how I used animation-based audio to achieve this goal. You see the difference? One is like, hey, like if I was just at your place, John, I'm like, what have you been working on lately? And you're like, oh, come to my office, have a look. And like I plop down, you're like, check it out. Boot up some project in CryEngine or whatever, right? You're like, okay, so this is a thing I made recently, and let me show you how it works. Like that's what I want to see. I don't as much want to have you like tutorialize something for me, especially if you're newer in the industry, because if you're tutorializing stuff, make sure you know how to tutorialize it. You know, just be aware of that. Okay, so let's watch the reel though. There's all these things. That's fine. General reel. Also, when I zoom in, this top bar gets huge. Man, it's like a quarter of the page. All right, 129. We'll see. I'm not convinced, John. Oh, sorry, it's still quiet. And sidechain's still on. All right, 3, 2, 1, and go. Okay, I'm already, John, I'm already checked out, man. Oh, okay. We will watch through the whole thing. This start is honestly pretty brutal. It's pretty rough. We'll get back to why, but I'd already be like, okay. I already am like, okay. You know, if you were applying to Power Up, for instance, or if I'm playing the role of a recruiter at some company, whatever, I would be like, oh, all right, let's see what else is going on here. This is long too. It's 21 seconds. Okay, let's watch the whole thing from here. What? Why is it left channel only? Whoa. John, this reel is insane. It's crazy. Okay, thank you, John Greska. Dude. Okay. Whoa. This. We have issues. We gotta deal with this stuff, man. John. Okay, okay, first off, no, it did not need to be 128, 129 at all. It did not need to be that long. Like, I was... John, please, man. Okay, so... Not... The thing... I've talked about this ad nauseum on Real Talk, but, like, the thing about having a longer reel, like, longer than 10x, is that the moment someone sees it, like, even you saw my reaction, I was like, we'll see. And I'm already kind of like raising my eyebrow before I even press play. You know, it's not a good place to be in. You don't want that. If you have 20 more seconds to show us that is like just hot, it's so hot. You gotta listen to this stuff. It's amazing. Then make sure that 20 seconds is easily accessed elsewhere on your page. You know, which you have stuff down below. It seems like that's already taken care of. So who needs this end clip, man? It went for so long. How long is this? It's like 30 seconds long, right? I'm gonna sidechain again. It's 30 seconds long, and we have footsteps nonstop the entire time. We got a Mario Galaxy style star bit chasing you. We got a can throw, and we got a notebook pickup and whirling around you. Still footsteps the whole time. It's like baff, 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 baff. We throw that too. Like nothing really happened, you know? I also have no idea, like, what is this gameplay, you know? Like, what is happening in this clip? I have no idea how to, like, contextualize what I'm watching and therefore adjudicate how appropriate the content might be. You know, I'm just running around picking stuff up and throwing it. Like, over the horizon. Why? You know, like, what is the gameplay? I'm not saying your game is bad. I know this is your project. I'm saying I just don't... The piece you've chosen for your reel is... And there goes the notebook, right? Like, what is happening? It's just... If there was some kind of... Like, is that what the gameplay is? Do you pick stuff up and throw it across the world? I mean, I feel like probably not, but I mean, I don't know, right? Okay, so let's try and nail it down to presentation. This is too long. The end clip kind of shows us the same thing twice a little bit. I get your motivation, like Fmod Unity stuff. I understand, I think, what you're showing, but it just, there isn't enough content in this 30 seconds to justify how long it is. You can show this. You could have picked up a notebook immediately and thrown it right away without 10 seconds of walking around, you know? It's just, there's, if this even were the clip you were choosing, it doesn't need to be this long. So cut it down. Like 101 is plenty for length for the content you have in your reel currently. But let's talk about presentation. Okay, so it starts out from the top. Let's go. So it's good. You have the splash, and in fact, the splash matches the background. Look at that. That's snazzy. There is some weird, like, alternating color stuff happening here. Like, there's like a line here with like different color here compared to here, but it's a very small detail. It's more visible on the main page. See that? Yeah. It's kind of weird, those stripes there, but not a big deal. Yeah, so the intro is... Who loves the 9? It's me. 9's a good note to end on. Very nice. It's fine. It's not particularly like designy. You know, it's a technical sound design reel. It's not that designed. It's like a chord and a scale, you know? As far as musical composition stuff goes, that's pretty foundational, you know? It's quite general. And also, like Aryo so astutely points out, it cuts off. Cut off. Why? Why cut it off, you know? So, moving on though, we have BB8 Fmod Playground Self-Made. Okay, so this is like, okay, self-made, like personal project, I guess is the idea. Personal project. I mean, BB8's not yours. You don't own BB8, but okay. BB8 Fmod Playground. So like personal project, that's fine. For personal stuff, use BB8. It's all good. So, excuse me, Fmod and Unity implementation. Okay. So did you do the sound design too? So like sound design parentheses Fmod and Unity might be better or something. But John, there's no sound for so long. Why? Like you're killing me, man. So, I mean, if you've ever watched Real Talk before, I'm not sure you have actually, because you're a first-time chatter, but this comes up frequently with Real Talk, in that the concept of in the first 10 seconds, you need to make them want to hear more. So that first 10 seconds is such sacred ground. It's got to be tight. In our first 10 seconds, we have chord scale that cuts off. 5, 6, 7, 8. It's painful. You're using like it goes so quiet. I'm yelling. I'm probably clipping the mic. I apologize. I thought something happened to my audio because also it cut off. Right, the piano cuts off. So I thought perhaps my interface cut off. Like something happened. I was like, oh, is this my fault? So now I'm like looking at my volume controls and stuff. I'm no longer even watching your damn reel, you know? So not only that, but it's just a waste of that precious 10 seconds. This opening silence tells me, as a potential recruiter, that perhaps your aptitude, like your sensibility for taking someone on a journey and supporting a story, supporting a gameplay narrative with audio, that starts with a strong intro. And this intro is so far from strong. Like it's silent, right? As far as an audio, like your technical sound design, and your reel starts with nothing, right? Like it's such a big problem. And it's not that this project isn't like, it's not that it's without value and it's like stupid or something. It's not the case. It's just that the way you're presenting it is like antithetical to the concept of a sound reel. There's no sound in it, right? And the sound that you have is so quiet to start. I was like, what? It's almost like it's almost comedic to be. It's like, oh, it's not silent, but it almost is. Like, so quiet. And then this happens, and we have a hard left impact. I mean, you must have heard that too. It's your technical sound design reel. This moment, if I'm playing the game and this is the game and it's on my home theater system, I'm on the couch, I got the TV, 15 feet in front of me, across the room, controller in hand, I'm controlling BB-8, I bash the wall, and I hear the impact over there to my left, my surround system. Like, that's not, if you heard that in a game, you'd be like, oh, that's weird. What's happening to my left? Because that impact should have happened right in front of me. Like, this hard left impact is, of course, a disconnect with what we're seeing compared to what we're hearing, Like the BAM, that impact, it's like way left. It's over here. So that tells, that's so interesting, because where is the listener? Is it on BB-8? Because the is centered. And again, I thought I have an issue with this switch. It's quite an old piece of gear, and occasionally one of the knobs, if it like, or on the button for the mute, if it like pops out, occasionally, like it's a rare occurrence, but occasionally it'll be like a loose connection, so I only have left channel. And so again, I was like, oh, is this me? But then BB-8 was centered, and I was like, oh, it's not me. So again, it was so jarring that you pulled me away from the reel, and I was looking at my gear again, being like, oh, should I correct my stuff? Man, yeah, this is a huge problem, this opening clip, dude. It's just not gonna fly. The door's cool, the movement's cool, but that impact is like such a red flag. Like that, I mean, if I'm being absolutely honest, this impact right here, this is a technical sound design reel, right? You're talking about the implementation. You are using technical implementation to support gameplay narrative. And this implementation right here, that impact means they're closing the window. 100%. Like, this absolutely needs to be addressed. It's such a big problem. Oh, man. Okay. Moving on. Sound redesign. Sifu slow clap. And wait, so this is technical sound designer. Okay, so this is just not your technical sound design reel, but that's your handle. If you're calling yourself a technical sound designer, oh man, the messaging is so scattered, John. Man, it's so hard to even know how to. Oh, it's already 1 o'clock too. Like, this is a lot to talk about. If you are putting technical sound designer as your heading, that suggests to me that you want to be focused. Like, if we look at someone like Jesus, who can we look at right now? Like, okay, Aaron Senden is a great example. So Aaron Senden is like a genius technical sound designer working for Respawn right now, I believe it was. And his reel is like, I mean, not to compare, dude, but like, this is who you're up against, you know?
To see is footage from the trailers for a game called Session. But what you're about to hear is how I would go about integrating audio for the game if I were working on it.
Like, this is a technical ass reel right here. It is so technical. He like takes us through things and like, here's the blueprints, here's the everything, you know? So if you're calling yourself that, your reel kind of needs to speak to that too, you know? Okay, like, listen, we're not gonna be able to talk about like your content quality too much. It simply is not the biggest problem here. Like, you got to deal with the presentation first and foremost. But man, let's talk about like, let's watch this one, for example. What we got? There's also do this. It's doing the thing with the embed. It's not 1080, it's saying auto. It's lies. There we go. Talk to us.
Parameter-based music maze in the BB-8 playground was a very fun challenge for me in learning the complexities of Fmod and how well it works with Unity. The idea behind it is that you have a maze, and the further you are from the exit, the music is boring, with only one instrument playing. But as you get closer to the exit, the instrumentation layers up and creates a cacophony for your success.
A cacophony?
To start, we need the composition
I hope not.
itself, whose Fmod event gets started the minute you enter the maze.
Dude, this is so much better than everything else we've seen so far.
5 instruments for the size of our maze. The further in you go, the more instruments.
I mean, the voiceover is not the performance. That's, who cares? Just talk to us and sound excited, and that's enough. But like the editing, we hear the noise, we hear the like the cut between takes and stuff. It's not perfect, but it's tolerable. Just be aware that that does come up, because working in audio, the recording quality comes into play, you know, because it's you're learning about microphone techniques at school and stuff, right? So be aware.
Get added. The adding of instruments is done through the parameter feature of Fmod. I chose this setup. For this section, a continuous parameter was better than a discrete parameter because discrete parameters move by integer values, and in order to make the transition as smooth as possible, we need floats. The idea here is we have the main composition, and then we have one parameter sheet for each instrument. I have set the parameters to have a possible value of between 0 and 1, or, as I've assigned those values, quietest to loudest. These are activated through the use of triggers. Each pair of triggers is assigned an instrument. When you pass through the green trigger, it changes the parameter from 0 to 1, so you would hear the first instrument increasing until it reaches full volume. Going backwards is also possible, as you have reached the max going through the green collider, so going backwards through the red collider drops the parameter back to 0.
Okay, so it's a hard set. It's not like a float between this range. So going red to green would be like 1 to 0. It's like set 1, set 0, it would seem.
Finally, going through the portal at the end stops the event and allows you to do the whole thing again.
Okay, I kind of want to see it in action a
The
little more.
parameter
But
feature of Fmod.
also, this is a lot of layers for streaming content. Just be aware of that. There's a lot of. I know it's like a technical, like demo thing, but that's a little bit dangerous to do for general music for a game. I was really hoping to have you show us things. You're telling us that it goes crazy and stuff, and you just don't show us the fruits of your labor. It's not great.
Possible, as you have reached the max going through the green.
Like, I understand the concept of something turning down to nothing and turning up to something, but like, what does that affect in game? You know? Oh, it was going so well, John. You gotta show us how it's all coming together. You know? Okay. Sifu sound redesign. This is 30 seconds long-ish. Why is Unity Playground? Unity Occlusion, AK Ambient. Like, you've done so much work here. You know? This is not easy to do, all these videos. This takes time. I'm sure you're well aware of that. Okay, what is this? Walk us through it. This is the last thing we'll watch. I gotta move on to Aryo here. Okay, this is not a walkthrough so far. It says a basic walkthrough of the grab mechanics. Are you going to talk to us? Okay, so you don't talk to us. So what you just witnessed, me watching 10 seconds being like, oh, this isn't what I thought it was going to be, and then skipping through, you can probably expect people to do when we're not streaming live on the internet. or maybe even a little bit more ruthlessly as possible. But these ones, are you talking to us again?
This project is meant to demonstrate a series of soundscapes produced in different biomes, sonically contrasting starkly from each other. I wanted to achieve this effect by making sure the soundscape from one biome didn't bleed into another. Rather, these are three distinct areas that should only produce their own sounds in their own space.
Okay, great. Yeah, like explaining the problem you're trying to solve and how it like the limitations there that exist and so forth, and like how you're gonna do it. That's a great 1, 2, 3, you know? Okay. All right, we gotta move on here, John. But man, there's a lot of presentation issues here. The biggest thing is presentation. Like, we didn't even get to talk about your reel that much because we had so much to talk about previously. So yeah, I mean, the good news is you put a lot of that time in as far as learning the tools and so forth. It's just how you are coming across, how you're putting yourself on the page. That's the biggest issue. Oh, I know we jumped around a lot there, but man, there's just a lot to deal with, man. So you have a lot of work in front of you. I'm not gonna lie to you. There's a lot of work to go. As far as distinction, standing out in a positive way, no, absolutely not. Not quite yet. There is, I mean, that first tense, I mean, Sean, I need to be perfectly honest here, man. Like, this is what's going to happen. People will go to your site, they will press play, They will not look at anything else. They'll just get on the site. Here we land. Here's the landing. Boom. They're going to press play. They're going to hear the intro. They'll hear the cutoff. They'll hear no sound for like 10 seconds. They'll hear a left channel impact, and they will close the window. That is literally what's going to happen. And I'm not saying this to be mean. I'm saying this because you need to know. Like, this needs to be addressed. Okay, so I would love to see like version 2.0 of this reel and this site, because there's so much to talk about here, that like all this hard work you've done that's just going to be totally missed because of this critical opening 10 seconds, So please let me know if you have any questions or anything else you want to talk about specifically, because I know we did kind of jump around a whole lot there, but hit me up on email or whatever. You have my email, so feel free to follow up and talk about whatever. Happy to. But yeah, this is needs some work, man. All right, but thank you for getting on stage. Thanks a lot. And Aryo, thank you for your patience as well. We can close Aaron's skate reel. Aryo, let's go ahead and no, don't apologize for being messy. No sweat. I mean, this isn't for me. It's not for me. It's not for us. Like, this work you're doing, all this, the work you've done so far, like, it's all for you, right? I'm just happy to. I'm sure many people in the chat are happy as well, just to help guide, attention a bit, just as far as pointing towards certain doors that are available to you to walk through. That's all. So I genuinely hope you do put that time in, because I think there's a lot of good work there that you can show off. Aryo, thank you for your patience, pal. Let's have a look at your work, shall we? We got a Canadian who I've met in person a few times. A fine individual who's helping with Full Indie here in town as well. It's like a meetup group in Vancouver. Hello there. My name is Aryo Nazaradeh. I'm a Canadian sound designer and composer and president of Full Indie. Look at that. You should link this, by the way, link to the meetup page, because many people wouldn't know what that is. Ready to work on an impactful game together? ? Oh, so the sales pitch is already coming. Look at this. I have a bachelor's degree in music composition from McGill University, where I was first introduced to dynamic audio via Max MSP, and a master's degree in music composition from the University. Oh, this is all one sentence, dude. And a master's degree in music composition from the University of Toronto, where I was formally introduced to the wonders of game audio. Yeah, this is a long sentence. I have experience with industry standard software, including Unity, Unreal, Wise, Fmod, Reaper, and more. I have shared this experience with game devs around the world, including a Wise workshop I organized in November 23 through Quiver Games' DevVenture event. And I'm looking forward to sharing this knowledge with you soon. Whoa. Settle down, Aryo. I am the first person in the Vancouver area to have brought back regular monthly game dev meetups since the COVID-19 pandemic. I mean, yeah, I guess so. I have since become president of Full Indie, Vancouver's largest game dev community, through which we host conferences every year, and the largest local game dev meetups every month. Tools and skills. I'm just curious who you're pitching to right now. Are you looking at freelance? You have Nintendo though. So, okay, we'll keep going. Tools and skills. Game engines. Yeah, we heard this already. Yeah, programming languages. Cool. Good for you. Excuse me. DAWs, middleware, other useful tools. Cool. Wonderful. You're applying for AAA positions. Okay, this is... I'd slow down a bit. Settle down. It's a little bit coming on a bit strong. Maybe just me. Maybe just a me thing. But yeah. Okay. All right. So that's your bio. Let's have a look at the rest of your page. We got game audio guides. Guides? I guess we'll find what that is. Music, Full Indie. There's a link. Yeah, might as well link it here too. Why not? Or just wherever your bio ends up being. Contact. Okay, let's go right to left here. Contact for any inquiries, including sound design, service rates, commissions, request for scores, or general info. Okay, I mean, this so far is looking real freelancy. Because this says like, I'll do anything. I'm a jack of all trades, you know? Not the end of the world, but be aware. Full indie. Oh, it's actually not the full indie page. It's just talking about full indie. Hey, that's Noelberry right there. Gameplay programmer for Celeste 64. Oh, and Jeff Tangsock. Is that Jeffrey Tangsock of Power Up Audio? It might be. Cool. Good stuff. Let's move on. This is a lot of text to learn about full indie, but I guess that's fine. You kind of already talked about full indie in your bio a bit, but that's okay. Music. Moving on. More text. Aryo. Settle down with the text. Yeah, this could probably be organized a little better. The origin of my career begins with my concert music composition. Where I explore methods of blending Western minimalist music with practices found in traditional music of Iran. Cool. Yeah, it's like Nazaradeh. That's like a Persian name, right? Isn't it? I feel like we talked about that in person at some point. Okay, moving on. Guides. This is game facts. Assyrian Persian mix. Cool. Yeah, nice. Making a synthesized text-to-speech in UE5. Okay, so, and here there's no text. So I came here for a bit of info on what this is.
My name is Aryo. I'm a sound designer, and I wanted to start recording my progress on a text-to-speech that I'm making in Unreal. It's fully generated with synthesizers, and there's no pre-recorded samples. An idea for this, or a template from this that I'm getting, is from an early speech synthesizers called the Voter, and it uses...
Okay, right away I'm invested big time. So very cool. I'm going to come back to this. But just having like a basic title and like a one sentence about this thing would be great. That's the main thing, Aryo, is like your page has a lot of information. It probably has the information that people want to get, but it's just a bit tough to get at a glance is all, you know? And if I go music, if I click music, again, we're back to UX stuff. It's kind of the same thing as what we were saying like half an hour ago, is that the I would encourage you to think of this from a UX perspective. Like this user comes to your site, they click music, and now you're imagining in your head, like, what do you think they might want to do? They might want to like learn about your music, listen to your music. But the first thing we see at full zoom is just a bunch of text. And you're like, well, no, listen, we'll press play in a second, but first I need to explain to you the origin of my career. Like, and listen, it's not to say that that's not a story worth hearing, you know? But it just might be. If you were like bringing a date home and they're like, oh, I want to hear your music. And you're like, well, 1 second, I do need to first tell you about the origin of my career. Like, it might be worth just like press and play. You're like, yeah, check it out. You know? Is that a bad analogy? Maybe that's a bad analogy. Just having like more info or something, or on your bio, because this is kind of more about your bio than it is about your music, you know? So maybe like an About You page, and then the About You page has your bio. I've seen in some cases there's like a bio, and it's like more info, and you like see more about music, more about whatever, and they'll have like more info on different areas of their life if you want to learn it. But that's kind of the thing. It's like, again, UX. It's there if they want to learn it. But in this case, you're kind of front loading it, being like, listen, this is why you're here, the origin of my career, right? And it's like, well, maybe it's you can't really be sure of that. And I'd say you can probably be sure. You can be sure that you cannot be sure, I'll say. So front page being your real I think you can probably just move this whole, like all this stuff to an About Me page with maybe some of the information found elsewhere, like full indie being its own page. I will say, Aryo, that having full indie here is kind of a weird look, like bio. Like this here, like I am the first person in the Vancouver area. I'll say that full indie has always been very, very community focused. Like it exists because of the community that surrounds it, right? So this here, it does. I don't think this is your intention, but it has a bit of a making full indie like it's me, like it's all thanks to me. And so it's like full indie is me, you know, and then having full indie on your page too, being like it's me, full indie. I don't think that's your intention, because it's like if you're interested in attending, and frankly, you wouldn't be doing full indie if you didn't value community, obviously. But it's just again, it's just like a phrasing presentation thing a little bit, and I think it's important to. I feel it's kind of a weird, careful thing to bring up, but I think it's important to talk about because you are sending this page to people who don't know you, right? I think it makes sense. So yeah, seeing someone. So this is why we read the bios out loud. Literally, we've had a lot of people over the years be like, "Oh, I'm cringing right now." It's like, yeah, well, this is what you've written, you know. So, anyways, I think that you can say kind of the same thing. Like, I'm thrilled to have helped bring full indie back after the pandemic. You know, like that's great. But yeah, just phrasing stuff, you know. Let's watch your reel though. 56 seconds. Let's do a full quality. Don't lie to us, YouTube. Don't do it. We got a Doom Eternal sound redesign coming up. I can see it there. No sidechain. Let's go. That's cool. Neat. Neat. Okay, let's watch it again. Sidechain on, please. So, okay, we had no title card to speak of. None. Oh, wait, we did. I just missed it entirely. I clicked not far enough back. Here it is. But it's silent, and it's also unmoving. It fades out. That's it. So this is a dangerous move, Aryo, and I feel like you've watched the... Yo, Gotham! What's up, pal? Been a while. I feel like you've watched the GDC talk that Matthew Martinson and myself gave back in 2018. I think you've watched that, right? And we talk about this opening being silent and the dangers therein. It's like... It's the same thing as John, right? Like stuff, if things are jarring enough or silent enough and it's an audio reel, you may have people who are like, oh, my bad, and they'll like reach for their volume control. And in the first moments of your reel, they're already not watching your reel. Like your goal should be like to grab them by the collar and be like, watch this. And then you just lose them instantly, you know? Like this needs to be something a little more gripping. It's got to be. That's painful. Two seconds of silence to start your first 10 seconds, make them want to hear more, and you've done nothing in your first 2. It's dangerous. Thankfully, the back 8 are pretty good. So titling wise, this is pretty basic. Doom Eternal, id Software, sound redesign, sure. That's fine. This here, Breath of the Wild. So I would put The Legend of Zelda, Breath of the Wild. That's the name of the game. Sound redesign, cool. And then we have Sci-Fi Car Engine. Now we have 3 lines now. Sci-Fi Car Engine, Wise, Technical Audio Design. I mean, I guess. Just like sci-fi car. So the thing is, you've got this formatting, Breath of the Wild, and then here, developer. So, excuse me, here, it's like sci-fi car engine, just personal project is probably a good idea. Parentheses, personal project, end parentheses. And be like technical, or like, you know, just say, maybe like audio, just audio design, parentheses, wise. We know it's wise, but that's fine. That's probably a bit more concise, because like technical audio design, I mean, yeah, of course it is. Just audio design or sound design wise. And then next we have weather changer, solo dev, again, like personal project. Again, audio design, parentheses, UE5 meta sounds. Or like UE5 semicolon meta sounds, UE5 / meta sounds, comma meta sounds, whatever. Just a bit more concise. It's a lot of real estate being taken up here by words that don't need to be there, you know? Trim it down. And then the ending is what? Just a big old fade to silence. Back 2 seconds are also silent. So it's some unfortunate silence. Not the end of the world. It's not going to like lose you a position, but it's not going to get you any pluses. And those pluses are very important, you know? Transitions wise, what we got? Fade to black. And is it even black though? It's like kind of gray. It's like fade to gray. Is that because you got like a, where's the button? Yeah, it's like it's not even black. It's like a gray instead or something. Is that due to like your branding choices being gray? I guess, because maybe it's like a personal thing. Same color as a splash screen. Okay, I guess so. I mean, fading to a gray, I'm not like a visuals guy. I'm not sure what the vernacular is, but it's like they kind of wash out the color or something. It looks almost like a mistake to me. I get what you've done and why you've done it, but I'm not sure it's landing. Maybe it's a personal thing. I don't know, but I feel like just fading a crossfade or fade to black is fine. The bottom line is, though, these are not very deliberate transitions. It's like just fade out and fade back in, palette cleanser, whatever. Again, not the end of the world, but no pluses one. It's, yeah, just sort of down to nothing, same thing, down to nothing. I assume there's no visuals, like no game for this. It's just like an in-wise project, right? It's my assumption. If it's not, then show off the game that he goes with, but that's what I've gotten. My takeaway here. So, okay, over to material selection stuff. So we have Doom Eternal and Breath of the Wild, two pretty massively different games, like extremely different games. And, okay, just Wise Project, that's cool. And then we have two things that, well, one is kind of in-game and not super in-game. But half your reel being technical audio sure points to the idea of you being technically focused, which also leads to this like salesy, freelancey verbiage being kind of weird, or maybe just unfocused. It's maybe a better word. So be aware of that. I think that you can just present yourself professionally and like let your cover letter do the talking as far as like, oh, I want this job and here's why. It's probably going to be a more concise approach. I don't think this is a bad like layout, because it's obviously want to do technical things. I think this is not the sexiest piece. I mean, you're aware of this. It's cool you're doing personal projects like this, but this might be cool to have like as a supplementary material, like in some other page, like, oh, here's a sci-fi car thing I made for fun because I like this audio thing, you know? And being able to, again, like, don't make me bring up Aaron Senden's reel again. It's like the best technical reel I've seen in my life. It's so damn good. It's crazy. So, yeah, let's talk content though a little bit, okay? So, we got Doom Eternal. It's pretty good. Honestly, pretty solid. For someone technically focused, it's quite nice. The one thing that sticks out to me a little bit is it's like dynamic stuff and mix over time. Like if I were on this project and this, what's it called, a glory kill or something? Is that what it's called? When you like way up close like this? I can't recall what it is. But like that moment, if I were on this project, I might do something where like, oh, when this kind of kill is in, when a glory kill is in motion, like in progress, I might duck the rest of the mix, because the thing is, this is screen filling, right? Look at this. It's the entire screen, right? And also importantly, in terms of gameplay, nothing else matters. All that matters is this right here. I think you're even like invulnerable while it's happening, right? It's like, do it. You're good to go. So given that this is all that's happening in this moment, maybe it's worthwhile to just pull some faders down elsewhere. But what's happening in this mix is everything else remains just as important. So we don't have this like ebb and flow of like guiding the attention of the user or the player and, you know, dictating the experience, right? So here is, you still have that background still all doing its thing, and you can even crank it up, because the thing is, like, the stuff happening far away and close up aren't that different. I think if you were to widen that divide between loud stuff and quiet stuff, I think you'd be like, damn, this thing's popping, you know? Like opening, we have a bunch of like general gameplay stuff all around us blowing up, being shot, being bloodied, whatever. Like that moment right there, that like the in and is so crazy, that needs to be like big, real big. And the thing is, if I actually do this, okay, sorry, 1 second. I'm trying to find my button. There it is. So here's the opening. We got, okay, so minus 18. Yeah, so I had suspected you weren't hitting 0, and you aren't. Your peaks are like minus 3. So you have room to pull stuff up, like compress those in-your-face moments, get nice and crispy. And the thing is, these headphones also blast highs, and there's not much highs. So I suspect that means the highs are maybe underserved, given that my ears are fine. Like, I bet if I play this on speakers instead, I'd be like, oh, they could use some more crispy stuff up top. I think your bass management's not bad, honestly. Your lows are not too loud. I mean, as far as these headphones are concerned, at least. I think they're fine. It's more of like a loudness over time thing, as opposed to like, oh, all your lows are too loud. That's not, I don't think that's a problem. I don't think, at least. Perhaps someone else in the chat would disagree, but yeah. There's a little pop there on the, yeah. Maybe intentional? I don't know. Gotham says, all the different looking projectiles use some high frequency content. Differentiate between them. Yeah, totally. There's a lot of like sameness in the design. You have some splort and splotch on these like little projectiles. It's cool. You got like all the chunky, beefy bass and like low, mid, and mid stuff in there. But I agree. As far as like highs go, I think you'd afford to use that to give some personality, like give a character, different characters, different weapons and stuff, you know? Yeah. And like, yeah, this guy is like screaming in our face, you know? Ah! Yeah, there you go, Yanni. Hissy layer to the creature up in its face. Yeah, totally. Just, I mean, Doom, everything's cranked to 11, you know? That kind of game. So you can afford to really crank some stuff up, especially when it's screen filling and it's in your face, you know? But anyway, cool secondary clips. The thing is, if we see Sci-Fi Engine and Weather Changer, if I go to Game Audio, is it there? Is it there? Oh, here's the demo reel again. Or is it different? It is different. It's not that different though. It's like the same thing, but just these two things are reversed. Okay, get rid of this. I don't care at all what your reel was a while ago. Your reel should be what's hot right now. Just get rid of it entirely. Don't even put your new reel here. We've already watched your reel. You can assume no one's on this page unless they've watched your reel. Okay? Here, you can view my demo reel. No, we cannot. Get it out of here. Get rid of this sentence. We know that. Again, this isn't. You're like forcing us to read text before. Just put things. Here's one, and beneath, here's what it is. You know, like don't. I haven't done it today. I can't believe you're making me do this right now, Aryo. I can't believe it. Look at this. You're making me do it. Look at this. Look how damn effective this is. Here's a thing. Here's what it is. Check it out. I can glance and see what to watch. You know? Do you see the difference? This is something. I'm also, so here I can watch a sound design reel. I'm also working on my own game. But that applies to the third thing or second thing. It applies to the second thing, but it's in the second half of the top paragraph. You know, it just needs some at a glance consideration. It needs it so bad. And here you talk through it.
To showcase how the dynamic rain sounds.
Killer. Good. And then like more audio. Guides is kind of strange. Like more audio. Here's like I'm making a thing I did. This is so cool. And here's more dynamic rain though.
To showcase how the dynamic.
It's the same damn video, man. Just watched it, you know? Get rid of it. Who needs this thing? Just throw this in your game audio. Because you're using UE5. It's game audio. Why not, right? Throw it in. Yeah, and just needs some love. All right. All right. So bio. Oh, this just change right now. This is a live change. Live change. Okay. Look at that live change. Maggie. Aggie, what's up? Josh Adam Bell, the true blueprint. Yeah, what a G, huh? What a legend. The OG game audio demo reel legend. I think we can probably call it there for the time being here, Aryo, but I'm gonna absolutely watch this voter dealio off stream. And thanks a lot. Are you sending out? I don't think so quite yet, because it's a similar thing to John. Like you put like a ton of work in. It's just presentation stuff. And like you know that the sci-fi car thing isn't the best thing to show in a reel. It's cool. Like it's super cool. You're putting your own time into just a wise session project. That's not the most common thing, right? But in terms of showing your gameplay sensibilities, your game design aptitude, all these things, it just isn't really like the best vehicle for that kind of purpose, you know? But I mean, you're putting the time in. You're obviously doing things right now. Is the blueprint success basically copy Josh Adam Bell's page? I mean, I've seen pages on Real Talk. I'm like, oh, okay, you've seen joshadambell.com. And that's fine. It's all right. I'm sure Josh will forgive you all. Yeah, thanks a lot, Aryo. And I hope to see you at a full indie soon. That's the goal. Okay, everyone, I'm going to play some freaking... Can I play some freaking... whatever? Do I have a tab open? Sweat? No! I can't play Four Legs. I'm not doing it. It's too sad. I'm looking for a web page that is... Here it is. 9 tabs ago. Perfect. Thanks, everyone. I will see you in 2 weeks. Not 1 week. This is a makeup week, or I should say last week was a makeup week for AGDQ. So we're doing it again in 2 weeks, and I will see you all then. If you want to submit your work, feel free to do so at powerupaudio.com or through Twitter stuff down below, and we'll get it that way. But we're currently doing... I was going to mention, too, we're going to do only 1 reel per stream for a little while. Maybe like a couple months, and see how it goes. And then from there, make some call. But, yeah. I like being able to dig in and talk about one reel a whole lot. We could have watched Aryo's voter thing, you know? I'd love that. But anyways, okay, thanks everyone, and I'll see you in 2 weeks. Cheers.